How's it going? We're here in Payson, Arizona on a pretty nice but kind of cold day. So today we're going to be talking about being in an environment that pulls the best out of you or pulls the genius out of you. Now it's a little controversial because sometimes when we have too many deadlines or too strict rules and regulations and bosses, it tends to really kink up our creative ability. Our ability to actually pump out work gets messed with because you just don't want to do it because somebody else is doing it or making you do it, or it's not your best idea, or it's not the best environment for your style of working. So the best thing for you to do is to, first of all, you kind of got to know yourself again. You got to know how you work, and what environment really does bring the absolute best out of you. So I definitely like to work by myself, and for really long periods of time, but I really get the most out when I'm under the gun, when it's crunch time, when it's go time, when people are blowing up my phone and asking where their stuff is. So, and I don't think that's the best way to do things, but I also tend to just max out my schedule, and that's just what I do because I know I can get it done. And then when it's time to get it done, I just buckle down and I do the work. Whereas when I'm kind of slacking off, and I still get a lot of work done, but I don't really see the mass production until it's crunch time. Basically, I get all my shit done in the last minute. And I mean, I also have good habits where I get everything done that I need to, but when I really see the most income coming to me and the most, outcome, I guess, the most, productivity, it's when I'm really under the gun, when I'm really crunching and I'm really getting shit into it. But I also know that I don't do well working for other people who are, kind of riding my ass. That's really why I start my own businesses and I do my own work and I be my own boss, because I don't jive well when I'm doing stupid shit for other people. That's just me. So you need to really be in an environment that suits you when you're working. There's all sorts of different things that people talk about. They talk about having a scented candle for when they go to work, or they wake up and they listen to the same audiobook or talk about positivity and work, and that's really what gets them in the right zone. Or they have their little work, I guess what's called like a mantra, except for some people do little things, like they get their coffee and then they get their favorite music playing or something like that. But it's just important to know yourself and to know how to trigger yourself to start doing your best work. And you really do need a good environment. I just need all my tools right next to me, within arm's reach, so that I can optimally grab and go and just not even have to work or stop my routine to really get things done. And I have to have something interesting to listen to. That's just how I work best. I listen to audiobooks, listen to podcasts, whatever it is. But when I'm in that zone where I'm just, doing my work and I'm listening to something interesting, I really can get into the flow. I can really find the stuff that's going to make me do my best work, and it's just going to be what it needs to be. But at the same point, there's also been lots of times in my life, where I was in the Army, I was in the oil field, where I would have somebody riding me and pushing me to my absolute limits, and really showing me what I'm made of, And especially in the Army and especially in the oil field, I was in North Dakota, be going to work in like negative 45-degree weather. But fuck, I made a lot of money when I was in the oil field. And they really did pull, you know, the most out of me. And that's pretty inspiring. It's pretty interesting to think about, like, because a lot of people don't even know what they're made of. They don't really know their limits. They think they know their limits, but they've never actually been pushed to their absolute max, you know? They've never really had to. They've never been in a situation where if this doesn't get done, it's like life or death, or it's like you're fired and your fucking family can't eat, you know? So, and I think I got my work ethic from there. I mean, I've always had a really good work ethic. I don't think I've ever not had a way to make money since I was like 15, you know? I've always, and before I was in the oil field in the Army, I always had tons of jobs. I would just nonstop work. And I wasn't very good though until I got done being in the oil field and done with the Army, like. And then when I really started working for myself, I realized that one of my strongest characteristics was that I could work, you know, 20 hours straight, 18 hours straight, but I just have to really care about what I'm working on, and it really has to mean something to me. And I have to have no distractions and nobody like waiting for me, you know. I have a lot of difficulty getting into a flow state when there's somebody, you know, at home or somebody on the other end waiting on me, because that just pisses me off and it makes me lose focus. So I basically narrowed it down though. I narrowed down like how I work best by process of elimination and just really pushing myself to my absolute breaking limit. Like, it's not healthy. It's not something that's I really would wish upon my greatest enemy, but it's important to know, like, you can do more, you know, and then it'll kind of start to piss you off because you'll realize, well, that one day I did so much work. Why am I not doing that today? Why do I have to go home, you know? And again, this is only when you're working on projects that really mean a lot to you. I'm not trying to like force people to do shit they don't want to do. But when you have that calling to do something that is truly meaningful, that's truly powerful, it's really good to know your absolute limits. It's good to know what environment is really going to pull like your best work out of you. And it's important to also have your daily routines for when you don't feel like working, you know? So those are 3 things that if you figure out, your work is just going to explode, and you're going to be way more productive, and you're going to get way more done. And it's just all about setting yourself up for success. So again, I work for myself. I have multiple businesses, and the way that I set myself up for success is I plan out what I'm going to do the day before, okay? And then I know what I'm going to do as soon as I wake up. I know exactly what my plan is going to be for that day. And I know the work environment that I need, I've already made and I've established it. You know, sometimes I have way too many customers and it just totally screws up my whole thing. So I'm really trying to work on hiring more people to deal with customers so that I can just focus on my work and as well as the little tasks. But on the days when, you know, I'm not stuck with customers, I'm not waiting for somebody, and I'm kind of just all by myself, I fucking can get the work done of 10 people that, you know, I'd have to pay to get as much work as I can get done. And then I wake up every day and I try to do that. And I try to set myself up for success by being in my own personal best environment, my own personal work environment, to be as productive as I possibly can. And again, I have a lot of jobs and businesses that I really care about, that are really, I'm seeing great progress, and I want to keep on going. But this isn't just about work. So it's also important to have your best health system and your best health environment. You know, if you start with just one day a week where you have a perfect healthy day, right? You don't drink coffee, you go to the gym, you meditate, you do yoga, you drink a bunch of water, you eat a salad. Like, that whole system, like having your absolute healthiest day, is incredible, because once you see how good you feel, and once you see like how much benefit you get and how much self-love you create just by taking care of yourself one day, it's intense. And then you can start doing that one day a week, and then you can start doing 2 days a week, 3 days a week, and then you'll have a healthy life. So setting up your best health environment is also just as important as having your best work environment. You know, don't buy the cookies. Don't have that extra beer. Don't smoke cigarettes at all, but you know, just cutting down and working to be in environments that are healthy for you, because it's really easy to have peer pressure or an extra drink just because, you know, you get that thirst or whatever. But it's just good to keep your environment as organized as you can without getting too insane with it. But I mean, why not optimize your life to give yourself the best chance to have the most successful life possible? Why not take every opportunity that you have to make your life that much easier, to make your life just a little bit better, to become the person you really want to be? And the best way for you to become your true self is to be in an environment that is setting you up for success. So think about it, you know, think about how you can make your environment a little better for you, and think about how you can make your work environment pull the best work out of you. You know, you don't always have to be the solopreneur, or it's really good to have a boss that keeps you on task, and you know that you can really shine at doing your work when you just have one task to do, and that's what you do, and you pay all your bills and you're happy and life's good, you know? So create the environment that enables you to have the best life. Peace.